As you know, Australia's relationship with China has reached a nadir. Well, we hope it's a nadir, but it could get worse, even worse, I suppose. So it's timely for me to bring to your attention another surprising and worrying example of Chinese influence, Chinese strategic power in our country. I want to alert you to another crucial economic and strategic asset in this country where China's influence could be detrimental to our national interests. We've talked before about how more than 60 ships carrying Australian coal are now stranded off China. They're deliberately being marooned offshore by Beijing, just another expensive and unfriendly act of bullying by the communist giant. Much of that coal will have come from New South Wales and the Port of Newcastle, the world's largest coal export port. So who owns this economically and strategically vital port? Well, a 50% share of it is owned by China. This industry publication from 2018 records the news that China Merchants Port Holdings Company, or CM Port, completed the transaction to acquire the Port of Newcastle, the largest port on the east coast of Australia and the world's leading coal export facility. So one of the nation's most important ports that exports vital coal to China is half owned by China. We've all heard a lot about the lease of the Port of Darwin to China, how it kind of snuck through, how the US was taken by surprise and dismayed, and how if we had our time again and saw the aggressive regional posture of China, we wouldn't have allowed this to happen. But what about the Port of Newcastle? Isn't that an even more strategic port in the here and now? And wouldn't it be interesting to know what future the Chinese company envisages for its global strategic infrastructure? Well, if you look at this industry publication, again from 2018, we can read about the aims of the 50% stakeholders. As for overseas business development, says the chairman, Fu Gangfeng, he said that CM Port has been actively promoting the development of Port Park City model under the Belt and Road Initiative, in which the company is able to lead or participate in any potential opportunities to diversify its development. Fascinating, isn't it? That's the same Belt and Road Initiative that aims to strengthen Chinese influence, resources and power globally. The same Belt and Road Initiative the Australian government doesn't want a bar of, and the same Belt and Road deal that Victoria signed up to, much to the chagrin of Canberra. Incredibly, despite all the current tensions and China's appalling abuse of Australia and its ruthless behaviour on trade and tariffs, despite all that, Victorian Premier Daniel Andrews is standing by his Belt and Road deal with Beijing.
This relationship's far too important to farmers, to manufacturers, to workers, to profits for Victorian companies and therefore prosperity for our state. I'm confident that the Commonwealth Government knows and understands how important this relationship is. I'm certain of that. And that's why, as challenging as this is, people have to find a way to work through it.
The federal government is so concerned about the Belt and Road Initiative that Scott Morrison has introduced special laws to Parliament, the Foreign Relations Bill, to give it the powers to overturn deals like this signed up to by state governments. Those laws are expected to pass Parliament within days with the support of Labor. So what about the Port of Newcastle? What about its Chinese owners? And what about their commitment to the Belt and Road Initiative? We need to wake up in this country. We need to open our eyes. We need to recognise that China is not a strategic ally. It's a strategic opponent. That much has been made clear by the way it's been treating us this year. These are not the actions of a friend and partner. The Chinese stakeholders have big plans for the Port of Newcastle. They want to expand the port to handle more containers, as well as being the biggest coal exporting port in the world. Will they be looking after our interests first or China's? You tell me.